Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Saturday morning, so you know it's time for another live edition of the Extra Point. As you can see, the gang is all here today. We got Tasha T-Sizzle in the middle square and making his triumphant return from sitting out warrants. It's Mr. Michigan Michael Hasso. What's going on, gang?
They try to get me.
No. Right. You know, who was prison beard and everything. Look, you no scratches, no nothing. So you have your business huh? T-Sizzle, what's going on today?
Oh, nothing much. Just sitting here, just enjoying life. No beach or nothing today. I'm not doing it. It's too hot.
Okay, Sandy Cheeks. We saw your pictures earlier this week. Shouts out to Denise checking in. Speaking of Denise, before we get into a jam-packed hour of nonstop football talk, a word from our sponsors.
We're sponsored by May Jane's Coffee. That's MAEJANES Coffee.com. You can get your Colombian and your brand new whiskey blend coffee, freshly ground by my lovely daughter, Denise. Again, if you're not a coffee drinker, just get some for someone else. And so maybe they will enjoy the coffee and continue to purchase. She has shirts and she also has the little syrups to go into your coffee. So again, that's May Jane's Coffee, MAEJANESCOFFEE.com.
All right, shout out to our sponsor, May Jane's Coffee. And we also brought to you by
Wolverine Comics. We buy, sell, and trade. So if y'all don't want to buy any, if you know somebody that's trying to get rid of their comics, we also buy them. And we have these cool little new stickers here, little hologram stickers that go in every package. So let us know. Follow us on Instagram and Whatnot Streams.
All right, and Whatnot Streams. Shouts out to our sponsors. Thank you all. Okay, Akila and the Beans. And we are off.
It's whatever word she spelled.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is countdown to kick off. We got a lot of great stuff. We're going to talk Tampa Bay. We're going to talk Bucks. We're going to talk all of your favorite NFL teams. We're going to give you wall-to-wall football coverage up and through Super Bowl 56. We are 6 weeks away from the NFL Hall of Fame game. So, you know, the Michigan Wolverines, as I pop my collar, are right behind. So it's one of my favorite times of the year. So let's just get to it. Michigan Mike, welcome back. We're going to welcome you back with nonstop football action. We know you how you love your pigskin. So let's start with you, Mr. MIA.
All right.
Who is number one on Michigan Mike's power poll heading into the preseason?
This was a tough question. You had a lot of tough questions today, but I'm gonna go.
Hang in there.
I'm gonna go with the Bills. The Bills really impressed me the last couple of years, just rebuilding everything. Josh Allen looks like an elite quarterback level, and they're strengthening their defense because they know that they have to keep up with that Kansas City offense. I'm gonna go with the Bills.
You're going with the Bills. Tasha T-Sizzle, who sits atop your preseason power poll?
Hashtag Bills Mafia. I agree with everything that Mike said. It's almost as if it's set up for them to be it. I mean, look how close with the last 2 years they've been in the AFC Championship. They've lost it. I think this is really their year.
And that's going to make it, and I know that this is a quasi-debate show, but that's going to make 3 for 3. And for my reason for Buffalo is the lucky leprechaun, Von Miller. Wherever Von Miller goes, teams win championships.
Yeah, that is
Just
true.
Ask Denver, ask the Rams last year, and whether he gets you 1 sack or 10 batted balls down, when he's on the field, your team has a good chance of winning the Super Bowl. Shouts out to Buffalo. That is my preseason pick as well. Now, let's go to the opposite side of the spectrum. Instead of saying the worst team in the league, let's be a little more let's be a little more politically correct. Mike, who do you think will have the number 1 pick in next year's draft?
I'm gonna go with the Bears. Last year, I just didn't like their moves that they were making. Didn't really make any sense. Justin Fields, they were just throwing him out there just to get tore up. I don't believe that Justin Fields is an elite quarterback, but I don't think that he's a terrible quarterback. And their offensive line is horrible. They haven't really made any moves. They got rid of their top talent.
Yeah, Allen Robinson. Oh.
So I think that they're going to have the number 1 pick.
Wow, good answer. That's one that kind of hit me out of left field. T-Sizzle, who's going to have the number 1 pick in next year's draft?
Well, I had to change my answer because at first I had the Carolina Panthers, but then as they were talking about maybe getting Baker Mayfield, it was between them and Seattle, even though I don't think Baker's that guy, but I think Baker is he's a good quarterback.
He's better than what they got in Carolina now.
Right. So I'm going to go with Old Faithful, and that's the Detroit Lions. Yes, they have our beloved Aiden Hutchinson on the team now, but I'm just going to go with Old Faithful.
You know what? Detroit was my pick as well. And then I thought about a team that I hate, and I think my hate for this team kind of superseded because for all the reasons that you said, I had initially chose Detroit, especially if your best, most known player is Jared Goff. Yeah, how many games are you going to really win? Like who else is on the team besides Goff and Hutchinson? But I'm going to stick in the AFC South and go with the Jacksonville Jaguars to have the number 1 pick, simply because of the schedule. I think the Titans sweep them. I think the Colts sweep them. The AFC South has to play the AFC West that's stacked. Chargers lost, Broncos lost, Raiders lost, Kansas City lost, and they play the NFC East. I think Dallas and Philly at least gets them. So that's a ton of losses right there. So I'm going to go with Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence didn't really get a rookie season last year. The coach just jacked that all up. That was just a disaster. So I think Doug Marrone will be starting fresh. We got a pick coming in from the Goon Squad, the Giants. I hope you're right because they play the Cowboys and the Titans this year. Something that I will be rooting for as well.
So you don't think Jacksonville would kind of have one of those miraculous seasons where they actually are good under a new coach with Sunshine?
No, and that's a very real possibility. But again, I give this a caveat. My original pick was Detroit, and then I realized how much I hate Jacksonville. So maybe this is me trying to just put some karma out there on them because they do have some weapons. And Trevor Lawrence, I think, is the real deal, unlike Justin Fields. But we'll get into the second-year quarterbacks as we progress through the offseason. But good job by you. Now, we're going to play a little game of run it back or run out of gas. T-Sizzle, Michigan Mike, I'm going to give you the division winners from last year in the NFL. You tell me if they're going to run it back and repeat, or will they run out of gas and get caught by a rival this year? All right, let's go. T-Sizzle, you up first. Let's start with your Buffalo Bills. They finished 11-6 last year, 1 game ahead of the New England Patriots, who were 10-6, 2 games ahead of Miami, who finished 9-8. Now, we know Miami made some moves. They brought in Tyreek Hill, some other pieces for Tua Tagovailoa. And New England has Bill Belichick. And, in year 2 with his quarterback, they should be better than last year. Does Buffalo run it back, or do they run out of gas?
I think they run it back. I mean, I like everything because, I don't know. I rooted for Miami last year. I don't know if that was just a sympathy thing or the fact that, I always, bet on black. But I just think Buffalo is just too strong. They're bringing too much. And the rest of the teams, you do have New England coming in with second year, which I think Mac Jones will do good. I mean, I thought he was good last year. He was one of my contenders for Rookie of the Year. Depending on what else what the rest of the team brings, because Belichick, he is a proven coach. He can do some things. I really want Miami to do well. Simply, I know Mike hates Tua, but I like Tua. I like Tua, so I'm kind of rooting for Miami to. And who's the other team in that division?
The Jets. She's like, moving on in a hurry. Mike, does Buffalo, do they run out of gas? Do they get caught by New England, or do they repeat?
No, they repeat for sure. I think the only team to put up a fight would be the New England Patriots. I just don't think they're there yet. I give the Patriots a couple more years. But, yeah, as far as this year, it's the Bills to lose.
Goon Squad agrees, says barring injuries, Bills Mafia is my pick to win the chip this year. They will be tough. A huge Monday night game with the Tennessee Titans in week 2. I am looking forward to that. On to the AFC North. Now, the Cincinnati Bengals, the AFC champions from last year, they won the division with a 10-7 record. I think most people overlook the fact that they only finished 10-7, a half game ahead of Pittsburgh, who had all kind of injury problems last year, and over the hill Big Ben. They finished a half game ahead of them, and they only finished 2 games ahead of Cleveland and Baltimore. Cleveland and Baltimore both have injury issues at the quarterback position. Does Cincinnati run it back, or do they run out of gas and get caught by one of their division rivals, T-Sizzle?
I think they run out of gas again. Pittsburgh is deep in my heart. That's my baby daddy favorite team. So I think the Steelers are going to actually do it this year. It's the question is Mitch Trubisky going to be, because they're saying it's basically his job to lose at this point. Then they got the rookie quarterback, which I don't think he will start any games this year unless, barring injury. Again, with the Cincinnati thing, it bothers me about Joe Burrow taking all those sacks and that offensive line. It's only so many times that boy can get hit. Just like you say with the quote unquote Lamar Jackson type quarterbacks.
It happened to him last year. He got hurt running the ball and it cost him their season. Right.
But they don't say anything about their pocket passer who keeps getting the same amount of hits as a Lamar Jackson does. I think Lamar's going to come back. He's going to be strong. Cleveland, they got old tug and grab, rub me down in at quarterback so far. I don't know what they're going to do with him. Or if Baker's still going to be in the equation with that, because, guys, did y'all really think about what if something happens with Deshaun Watson and they still have Baker on there? Do you say, hey, Baker, I'm going to trot you on out there? Like, what would actually happen in that scenario?
Mike, that's a good question. You got to answer?
I think this goes back to your initial statement of saying, like, most of those teams had injury issues. I agree, but I disagree. That's not the problem with the teams that you were talking about. It's that they have no idea of what their future lies. So you have Pittsburgh. We don't really know who our quarterback is. We have the Browns. We don't really know who our quarterback is. You take the injuries out of the way. Let's say they had a healthy team going into this next year. Like, what's going to happen in their quarterback situation? Right. That's why I got to go with the Bengals, because they know in Joe Burrow, he's the real deal. He's going to stay for a while. I got to keep with the Bengals.
Mike, is this because Jamar Chase put me out of our fantasy football playoff matchup? Is that what this is about? He dropped 300 on my head in our playoff matchup and eliminated me. Is that what this is about?
That's a great duo. So
yeah, and if not for Aaron Donald's sack, your boy Mr. Nashville was beat deep by Chase. He gets to let that ball go on that last play, and it's a totally different story with the Super Bowl. So you got Cincinnati running out of gas. You got Cincinnati repeating. That's why I love having you both on the show at the same time. Moving on to the West Coast, we have the AFC West. The Kansas City Chiefs ran away with the division 12-5, but one can argue that this division is the one that made the most upgrades. Vegas, they get Devontae Adams. The Chargers picked up some big pieces. They'll get a lot of key players back healthy. And Denver gets Russell Wilson. So do Kansas City minus the Cheetah, who's now in Miami, do they run it back, Tasha? Do they run out of gas?
Not having anything to do with the Cheetah running down to MIA, I think they're going to lose gas. Simply because you look towards the end of the season, Kansas City is not performing where they're supposed to be the ones in the Super Bowl. They're supposed to be there, but the last few seasons they haven't been there when all of those players have been, you had your core players, you had everybody, you had Honey Badger.
Big time opportunities to win more championships for sure.
Right. So with that, I know the Chargers. I love what's the quarterback at the Chargers? I love him. He's pretty good. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Justin Herbert.
Justin Herbert. But I don't see his upswing. It's so good, but I just don't see the Chargers being that team yet. It's interesting in seeing what Denver's going to do. Vegas, you got all of that, but your quarterback, again, he's in that, what do we say? The decent quarterback. And that team's going to go as far as he goes. Is he going to progress more this year, given his brand new shiny toy, or is he just going to be himself?
All right, Mike. Does KC run it back or run out of gas?
I like Justin Herbert. He's my franchise quarterback. So.
Keep it real.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say that he is the real deal, and he is gonna give Kansas City a run for their money. But I still am gonna say Kansas City, just the fact that they have their mold built already. They have a couple pieces missing, but once you figure that out, you have a Hall of Fame caliber quarterback already. Once you have that, that's like the hardest piece to find. So we can find another wide receiver, slot receiver that can run the routes efficiently. So I'm gonna go with the Chiefs repeating.
I'm sorry, I didn't make my pick. I chose Denver. I'm sorry.
All right, you're going with the Wilsons. Okay, now is Carr underrated in your opinion?
No, Carr is rated exactly where he needs to be. Mid to lower level.
Wow, mid to lower level. Okay, Mike, do you agree with that?
No, I think he is underrated in the fact that I would agree with Facebook user just because he took a bad Las Vegas team to be relevant again. Who would have thought that? No one thought that they were going to win that many games. And he could sling the ball. So props to him.
He's rated exactly where mid-grade.
So wait a minute.
Do we need to pull up 1 through 32? Do we need to pull up 1 through 32?
No. But we're gonna go 1 through 4 real quick since you brought that up, Mike. Because now you got me on another lane here. You have Justin Herbert, you have Patrick Mahomes, you have Russell Wilson, and you have Derek Carr. You saying Carr comes in fourth in that quartet?
Yes.
Mike, do you agree?
Yeah.
He's fourth in his own division.
Right. That's a harder division.
Right.
I would say.
Okay, if he's fourth in his own division, put him up against the AFC South. Put him and then rank there. Who would you rather have out there? He's mid to lower grade. If you go through every conference,
he's better than Tannehill.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Okay.
But then that moves him up one spot.
At least Carr can sling the ball. Could you imagine the Titans with a quarterback that can sling the ball? Like, come on.
But that still only moves him up.
Yeah, exactly.
It only moves him up one spot. And then, again, you got to go to the next conference. Who is he better than?
Woo! Now, I agree with this, and we're going to get into this like in a couple of weeks. Herbert still has a lot to prove. I am not sold on the Chargers or Herbert. They are the team that will always shoot themselves in the foot.
Or stab your starting quarterback in the chest.
Yeah, he's a great fantasy quarterback, but we digress. Let's go to the AFC South since you brought them up. The Tennessee Titans ran away with the division, beat the Indianapolis Colts by 3 games. They finished 12-5, number one in the AFC. Now, I don't think they're going to be number one in the AFC again, but will they have enough gas in the tank to run it back, or will they run out? T-Sizzle.
Go down the list of who's in the team?
Colts.
Jacksonville, Colts, and
Houston.
Oh, I do this really just to piss you off. I always go with
the Colts.
With the Colts, just because it makes you mad. But I don't know. I mean, looking at what you just named, Houston's got a new coach, a new whole new situation down there. I don't see Jacksonville really making a push.
But Indianapolis does have Matt Ryan.
Yeah, they got Matty Ice. So I'm for just off of even Matty Ice alone, even though he's Matty crushed ice now.
Like the Sonic crushed ice, because the Sonic crushed ice is on point.
No, not that crushed ice. The one from Christmas when you bite it, it tastes like you biting the cup too. That old crushed ice.
Checking in. No, wait a minute. Langston, an admitted Titans hater, says they will be in the running for the AFC South champs. I'll take that as a victory.
So I'm going to go for the Colts, with all that being said.
Okay, with all that being said, you take the Colts, and a lot of NFL pundits agree with you, by the way, T-Sizzle. Mike, do they run out of gas, or do they run it back? The Titans, that is.
The AFC South this year is the new NFC East from the last
Do
5
you agree with
years.
Langston? It's just a 2-team division.
Yeah, for sure. I don't see any other team, and they haven't done anything. I mean, and even so, you have the Titans, who, man, I don't know what they're doing with their. I have no idea what
Right.
I foresee them being. Whoever wins this is going to have like eight wins
No,
going into the playoffs.
Mike. You said 7 wins a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I said 7 wins for them, so I'm gonna go with. I mean,
division.
you just jumped to my answer, so I'm gonna go with the Colts on this one.
What?
They have more of a.
Mike,
They have
the city
more.
of Nashville embraced you. You went to a game. No, the Titans lost that game.
Mike said, I'm gonna go ahead and go with the Colts.
I mean, they haven't been listening to me all year of making changes, and then so I mean, you ain't gonna listen to me, then see what happens.
God was spoken like a father right there. Yeah. He's like, all right, act like you ain't hear what I just said.
Yeah, go ahead. You're gonna learn.
You're gonna learn. Shouts out to Real Fathers, Real Men. Mike, I can't believe this. I'm gonna stay out of that one. But you know he's healthy.
Yeah, and you know that passing game ain't healthy.
No, it's not. It's not.
Ain't damn.
It's not. It's not. You're right. Now Langston says they better feed the Colts Princess extra hot chicken when they come to town. The Colts have done extremely well against the Titans in Nashville. Why are you bringing that up? Why are you trolling this early in the morning, Langston? We're going to move on to the NFC, shall we? Green Bay. The Packers of Green Bay. They ran away with the division, 13-4 record. The only people standing in the way really is Minnesota, maybe Chicago. Detroit is going to have the number 1 pick, says T-Sizzle. So with that,
repeat next. Repeat next.
Repeat next. All right, so Tasha, repeat next. Repeat next. All right, the gang has spoken. Let's move on to your boy, the GOAT. Right? He's like, next. Let's move on to the GOAT. 13-4 record last year, ran away with the division, the same as Green Bay. No Gronk. We will get into that in a little bit. Does Tampa Bay run it back with a healthy New Orleans team that not only has Tampa Bay's number, but they also get their wide receiver back in Michael Thomas, and they drafted Ohio State stud Chris Olave. Will they have enough with Jameis Winston coming back under center? Does Tampa Bay run it back, or do they run out of gas, T-Sizzle?
Oh, when the Saints go marching in.
Hey.
When the Saints go marching in. Come on, second line. Oh, I want to be in that number.
Look at Mike. Mike can't wait to speak. So you saying that Tampa Bay runs out of gas this year after 13-4?
And they got the Honey Badger in the backfield. You forgot.
I forgot about the Badger. Okay, but they made some moves. They made some moves. Mike, does your GOAT? Does he run out of gas?
Are you finished?
Okay.
Are you finished? No, I'm just kidding. No. I mean, I do. I like the Saints. Probably not the Saints fans. I like the Saints organization of what they do. They do a quick turnaround, which is nice. But the Saints are going to Saints, just like Cowboys going to Cowboy. I think the Saints probably will win the division.
No early Cowboys.
The Saints. I mean, they're coming up next. So the Saints probably will win the division, but they're going to do what the Saints do and lose in the playoffs.
And
it don't matter about that. It don't matter about that. We said the division. That's all.
Yeah, that's what I said.
So he's on record.
So you're giving the Saints their due that they'll have more gas in the tank than Tampa Bay?
Well, I mean, that's happened in regular season before, to where Tampa is lost regular season, but then they just end up winning in the playoffs.
They won the Super Bowl as the wild card team. Good point by you. New Orleans won the division the year that they won it all. Good point. What did Brady do to the Honey Badger? Remember the Super Bowl with the Honey Badger versus Brady? Good point, Langston. Sounds like the Saints are getting a lot of love today.
But the Honey Badger can still determine the outcome of a game or a.
You pick him up for the playoffs. Yeah, you pick him up for those huge moments in the playoffs. Gotcha. Now, speaking of my Cowboys, our Cowboys, America's Cowboys, America's team.
They haven't been America's team in 30 years.
Take that back right now, Mike.
They haven't.
They're America's team. They won the division. They went 12-5. They were a couple of errant throws away from advancing in the playoffs last year. They lost to some teams. I don't even remember who they lost to, but they lost to some team. But they finished 12-5, 3 games ahead of Philly. Now, in this one, does history stand true? There has not been a repeat division winner in the NFC East in 17 years. I don't know how in the hell that's possible, but the numbers don't lie. Does Philly make it 18 this year? Their chief competition, T-Sizzle.
I'm getting a strong feel, a strong tug, if you may say, from the Philadelphia Eagles.
That's 2 tugs already, Mike.
But it's just like I don't understand. I mean, the thing is, you can't count out the Cowboys because for some reason they always manage to win it.
That's always. Is it always, Mike? Always.
There's no repeat. What are you talking about?
I mean, but it's easy to repeat when you play in the NFC least. I mean, there's no competition there.
The NFC least. The Giants and the Washington Commanders are trash. However, the Eagles did add A.J. Brown. Is that enough to put them over the top, Michigan Mike?
Yeah, you know my answer, of course. I see. I mean, you said my point for me. There's been no repeat in 17 years. I think the Cowboys still have a lot to figure out. I think they lost a lot of steam finishing out the season, and everyone seeing, even if your fan base is not even behind your running back and like, oh no, we want the backup in there. Like, they got stuff to figure out. Zeke is obviously not comfortable outside of the pocket. So I'm gonna go with the Eagles.
First of all, Mr. Prescott is going to be the MVP this year. I've said it weeks ago. I'm going to say it now. I'm going to say it in week 1 when we give our official predictions for the season. He will be MVP. CeeDee Lamb will be an elite Justin Jefferson type receiver. Michael Parsons is going to take another leap in year 2. Trayvon Diggs is the team is loaded. So yes, they are going to win it back.
They are like, I love me some Trayvon Diggs. That was my defensive, like I wanted him to win it. But you have all of that, but they still not producing when they supposed to.
The Cowboys have never lacked in talent. That hasn't been the issue. It's managing that talent.
Mm-hmm. Like that.
Well, we all know about their management issues now. That's just something that none of us Cowboy fans can control.
I mean, even in that game when they would with the call with Dak instead of throwing and he ran it and didn't have any time in the clock in the game with the 49ers, like stuff like that.
Right. And Langston just supported your argument. He says when the offensive coordinator got to go, he's a horrible situational play call. A situational play caller that cost him the game, calling the quarterback.
They continue to shoot themselves in the foot with little mistakes like that. Of course they have talent. Like Michael Parsons is a beast.
And Mike, you did call that when he was drafted. You said that was going to be a big pickup for them when I wanted the tight end out of Florida. So good job by you on that. Tasha, I agree with you 1,000%. Cowboys got plenty of gas in the tank, even at $4.70 a gallon up the street from my house. Good Lord, have mercy. And last but not least, this is an intriguing division. I'm really curious to get your thoughts on it. We have the defending champion Los Angeles Rams, who finished 12-5. But check this. They only finished 1 game ahead of Arizona, who was 11-6. And they only finished 2 games ahead of San Francisco, who damn near beat them in the NFC Championship game. San Francisco was 10-7. 3 teams won at least 10 games in that division last year. T-Sizzle, do the defending champs run it back or do they run out of gas?
I think they run it back for the simple fact and reason.
Wow, as a 49er fan, huh? Okay.
I mean, again, y'all know I don't just say 49ers just because that's my team. I don't know what we're doing at quarterback. You still got Garoppolo out there. He's supposed to went to the doctor Friday to get his shit checked out. I don't even know what they said, what the end game was with that one. You got Trey Bay out there who's unproven, who when he gets
a lot of rave reviews either out there on the West Coast from the people who.
But when he gets in the game, he does have flashes of greatness and showing that he has some talent. So that's the only thing that I'm worried about when it comes to the Niners. Everything on the Rams is still there, other than Von Miller. But everything else is still there. You still got Aaron Donald. What are they doing with OBJ? But you got Cooper Kupp. You still got your quarterback, even though the quarterback is the Achilles heel of that team. With all that around him, he's able to perform.
They did pick up
Seattle,
Bobby Wagner, who's going to walk into the Hall of Fame after being with the Legion of Boom for all those years. So
yeah.
they're back loaded.
Seattle is out of the picture again. We don't know if they're in the talks for
Oh,
the Baker
they're playing for Alabama's quarterback next year. They're in the quarterback sweepstakes for next year, so they'll be around the top 5 pick. Mike, do you agree with Langston that the 49ers will be stronger? We underestimate their depth. Is it enough to surpass the defending champs?
No, absolutely not. I think for what Tasha said, you gotta. I mean, we were talking about you can have a strong team, but in the '90s you could win a Super Bowl with not a strong quarterback. But this ain't the '90s. This is a definitely offensive game. I mean, yes, a strong defense can win a championship, and you saw that with the first Tampa Bay one. That wasn't. I mean, let's be real. Tom Brady, the GOAT, more managed the game, but that defense won that Super Bowl.
But he got to the Super Bowl with some clutch performances on the road.
Right. So you have to have that quarterback situation figured out. Not even going into the season, like you got to have a year under that belt and then do something. That's why everyone said that Mahomes coming into the Chiefs right away, doing something great, was a rare occasion. That's not going to happen for the 49ers. They got to figure that quarterback situation out. So I'm gonna go with the Rams repeat.
So we got dueling comments in the Goon Squad section. Damian Coulter checks in. If the Rams don't win the division, it's because the injury bug ran rapid. To which Langston said, let's look at the injuries from the 49ers last year that they had to overcome. One thing that scares me about the 49ers is that no matter who's under center, no matter who's out there on the defensive side of the ball, they will run it down your throat. Yes. And that's hard to stop in the regular season and in the playoffs. Now we got Nick Foles. Oh, my God. Nick Foles is a Hall of Famer. Mike loves him some Nick Foles. Got him a championship. Now,
yeah, it
is time, ladies and gentlemen, for the first annual TEP Family Feud. We're one big happy family here on the show. But today, the family squares off against each other. It's Team T-Sizzle versus Team Michigan. Mike, now, we're going to do this just like Family Feud. Top 5 answers on the board. You got to get all 5 right. Don't have to get them right in order, but you have to get all 5 right. If you miss one, your opponent has a chance to steal. They get it right, they win. They get it wrong, you win, just like the Family Feud. Tasha, as the first lady of the show, you get the option of wanting question number 1 or question number 2. You kicking off or you receiving?
Oh, I'm always going to kick that off and receive in the second half.
Okay, so Mike, you up first. Tasha, eye contact. No looking down on your phone, no research.
Put your hands up, Mike. Put your fingers up,
Put your
Mike.
hands where my eyes can see. Straight buck walling in the place to be. All right. Now, see, Mike can do research with his toes. He got his big toe on Google right now. All right. Tasha, top 5 answers are on the board. Here is your question. Name the top 5 NFL franchises in all-time playoff wins. Your clock starts now.
Cowboys.
You don't tell me now.
Cowboys.
All right, that's 1.
49ers. You said 49ers.
Okay, that's 2.
You said repeat the question again?
Top 5 NFL franchises in all-time playoff wins. All time.
Green Bay.
He says sunglasses have a processor in them. He make that kind of money. They probably look at him rubbing his glasses. He's on Google right now.
I'm gonna say the Steelers.
Okay, that's 3.
The Raiders.
And the Raiders did not make the list. Mike, your turn to steal. You get one.
You was actually supposed to go
Patriots
with first.
Go who?
You was actually
the Patriots
first.
Okay, Mike. Mike wins that round. The Patriots with 37. The Raiders were close 6. They came in. There's New England 37, Pittsburgh 36, Dallas 35, San Francisco 34, and Green Bay with 30.
I said Green Bay, but you was like next answer.
Wait a minute. You said the Raiders? You said the Raiders.
I said Green Bay before the Raiders, but it doesn't matter.
Okay, yeah, because you said the Raiders. All right. So, Mike, here's your question. Tasha, you be ready to pounce. No, Langston said the Bills. That would have counted against me. All right, Mike. The bottom 5 NFL franchises in all-time playoff wins.
Man.
Top 5 answers are on the board. Your clock starts now.
All right. I'm going to go with
Wait
the
a minute.
Lions.
Wait a minute. Titans. Langston. All right, that's one. That's one.
Man, all time. So, man, I can't go for that team. Man,
Oh, the Titans
this is
are
a hard one.
all 5 of them, huh?
The Browns.
Okay, that's 2. Be listening out.
Okay.
Tasha may come back to you.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna come back to you. So you better be ready.
Hell, I ain't gonna know.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know that many losing teams. I mean, I kind of want to go with the Jaguars, but they expansion, so
Right?
It's the Super Bowl era. All teams are included in this.
But it's all time losses, right? And Super Bowl appearances.
No, all time fewest wins in the playoffs. Fewest wins.
Oh, Jaguars.
That's another one. You got 2 more. So we got Cleveland, Detroit, and Jacksonville. 2 more.
Okay. Let me go with. Dang, no.
Tick.
Yeah, go ahead, Tasha, because I can't think of any.
Really? You want to just throw one out there?
All right, then I'll throw in. Who hasn't won? The Jets.
Okay, that's an ant. Tasha, you get a chance to steal.
Yeah, the only reason because I thought about all them Joe Namath days. So
that's what I was thinking about too. So we got Cleveland, Jacksonville, Detroit. There's 2 more teams. Now just think with one of them. One of them is like staring us right in the face.
huh?
One of them is staring us right in the face. You get 10 seconds.
Shit, I don't know. The Bengals?
Ding, ding, ding. Yo, all right. Okay, so both of y'all played good defense. Good job by you, T-Sizzle. The other one is the Houston Texans. They only had 4. Good job by you. Okay, so we'll let you all finish with a tie this week. Good job by you. Way to steal, Tasha T-Sizzle. Way to steal on yours too, Mike. Now, speaking of New England, which got you the victory in the first round, former Patriot, former Buck, former all-time great tight end, maybe, Rob Gronkowski, is calling it a career. We're getting a black lip from T-Sizzle. He's not one of – we'll get to that in just a minute. Mike, let's come to you first, Mr. Buccaneer. Mr. Tom Brady, GOAT best friend. Does Gronk retirement, does that hurt Tampa Bay's chances this year? Is this why you have the Saints passing them in the division because there's no Gronk?
No. I think, if you look at their regular season, which they did most of their damage in, he wasn't really relevant. He played maybe 2 full games or something like that. So, no, they were kind of like, all right, we're doing this without you. So, I think anytime he's on the field, you definitely have to account for him. But I think they'll be fine.
Tasha T-Sizzle, does this spell the end of Tom Brady's GOATness down there in Tampa Bay?
It depends on, like Mike said, Gronk was a distraction down there in Tampa. So it opened it up more for like a Mike Evans, which I think Mike Evans is elite anyway, but it opened it up more for the Mike Evans, Goodwin, people like that. Right. And then you got a good running game. So I don't really think it's going to make a difference because like Mike was saying, Gronk really wasn't just like, Gronk is it. I'm Gronk. I'm on the boat chugging beer with no shirt.
So nobody is showing any love for Gronk retiring. Won't have any effect on the current Patriots' success this year.
You got Fournette. Who's Fournette's backup? You got the running back core. You got you got your defense. Your core defense is intact. You know what?
Michael Evans from Good Times. Shouts out to Kenny Man checking in. Now, Langston ask a question. Will he be back mid-season? Is this one of those I don't want to go to training camp deals? Bring me back right there before the trade deadline.
No.
Mike, you think he's
No,
done?
yeah, he's done. I mean, he should have stayed retired the first time. When he came back, I mean, yeah, he won that Super Bowl, but he wasn't. I mean, he played a couple plays when he was playing then, and then last season, it just looks like he was like a Witten. You know, when Witten was like, "Man, go lay down somewhere, just retire." That's kind of what it is with Gronk right now.
Boom Squad wants to put something on it. They said, "Let's bet then, Mike." What you holding, Mike?
Hit me in my directs. We'll see.
Yeah, you make sure you make that bet public because we're going to keep an eye on that. Now, with Gronk, I looked up Gronk's numbers, but we're gonna, for the sake of the show, we're gonna see exactly where Gronk fits on T-Sizzle's top 5 tight ends of all time, or does he make the list at all? T-Sizzle, the floor is yours.
Number one, normally, this is a hard thing for me. It was actually kind of easy. It was easier than I thought.
Okay.
Number one, Tony Gonzalez.
Agreed.
I have old Unc, Shannon Sharp.
Okay.
Antonio Gates.
Definitely got to be in there.
Ozzie Newsome.
Oh, Ozzie from the Browns.
And my surprise, I had someone else in, but my surprise, Travis Kelce.
Travis Kelce already in the top.
Not a surprise there.
I had it, but wait a minute. I actually had Jay Novacek at first.
Shouts out to Jay Novacek. Shouts out to Kellen Winslow. I'm surprised he didn't make your list as well. Kellen Winslow.
Senior maybe, but junior,
We're not going to get into junior. Mike, do you agree with her list? Where do you have Gronk in your top 5? You don't have Gronk in your top 5 is what you're saying.
I have him in my top 5. I have Antonio Gates, Tony Gonzalez, Gronk, Shannon Sharp. I have Travis Kelce, and who I have on the outside of the top 5 is Witten.
Oh, wow, okay.
And I kind of did this one between Witten and Shannon Sharp, just in the fact that Shannon Sharp really, I mean, he did both. He did more of the position itself, so that's why I kept him in there. But if you think about tight ends nowadays, it's more of a big receiver, I guess if you want to call it. Right. And Shannon Sharp, you actually had a block, and he was a great blocker. And so I can't really go against his stats when it came to receiving yards or touchdowns. Where I penalized Witten was his average receiving. No, his average receiving was only 10 yards per reception.
Good research by you, it was.
Must be pulling up stats. I just
right. Good job by you. No, I'm looking right here. I took the stats down. He's right.
Yeah. So my problem with him, even before the stats, just seeing him on field, he's a tight end is tight end, right? You see Gronk run through people after a catch. My problem with Witten is after that Philadelphia, running with the helmet on, after that play.
Come on, man, that was iconic.
After that play, so I gave him his props. Yeah, that was a great play. After that play, he would just catch it and fall down. Like there would be nobody in front of him. He catch it, falls down.
Yeah, so I'm like, man, he's in the double coverage all the time. He's trying to get for who for what? He's an Andre Waters for who for what? Like you ain't
tight ends are the big. Tight ends are the rock. You gotta carry that through. You see all these top players, like they were some strong receiving core and ran through people. So for my tight end top 5, you come in at 6, but those are my top 5.
I mean,
again, your top 6 because he's in my top 5.
I mean, again, I don't like to give Gronk credit. I just don't.
It sounds like neither one of you did. Neither one of you have Gronk in your all-time top 5.
Yeah, right? I did.
He did. He's in his top 5 again. Again, if Aaron Hernandez had not went all Aaron Hernandez on us, it wouldn't be.
Now that is as unfortunate as that story turned out to be. That is facts. He was a much more versatile. He was faster. He was more athletic. He was Brady's top tight end at that time when they were running the 2 tight end sets with those two. He was the one that you would draft in fantasy football because he was the real red zone target when he was playing. Mm-hmm. That is true. Wow, y'all. you know.
I mean, but he has a third highest touchdown. Like, you got to give him credit on that.
No,
He
All
does.
time.
no.
He does. The one thing that I thought was interesting is that you both have Tony Gonzalez on the list. Tony Gonzalez played in 270 of his 272 eligible games. That is absolutely ridiculous in a physical position like
And
tight
Witten played one more game, too.
end. Oh, Mike, you
That's the
had
only
the
reason he
nose in
got
the book.
it
Mike is back.
Mike, when Paul sends us this, when Paul sends us the rundown, do you actually research?
Oh, you think Paul sends you the rundown?
Well, you know
Oh,
what
Mike.
Oh, you know what I mean.
Hold on, wait a minute, hold on. Okay, Mike, since you want to out me right now,
No, I was just playing.
this is Mike's top five this week. He did come back and say, "Hey, let's talk Gronk all-time history." And I said that would be a great.
I'm just saying in general when we do the shows, do you actually do research?
Don't give away too much of your secret sauce, Mike.
For some of the questions, yeah. Because I mean, for my heart, I like Tony Gonzalez, but I'm not gonna just be like Tony Gonzalez is number one just because.
They're calling me Milli Vanilli. Mike, it was one segment out of a gazillion.
Girl,
Like,
you know it's true.
Hey, baby, don't forget our number. No, okay, yeah, this was a Mike special. But hey, I told y'all that back from the radio days, I would constantly say for the world to hear that a lot of the material that I did on the air was material given to me by T-Sizzle and Michigan Mike. That's why they're sitting right here today. They would have hit squad back then. So like this is no secret that this is collaborative effort. They were the who produced Janet Jackson? They were Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. They are my Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. They write hits, and I just turn the microphone and regurgitate. So shouts out to them. I will not deny that. Damn.
No, I just asked because
I got a ghostwriter. Welcome back. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is.
No, I just wondered because I know Mike is a stats guy. I know that, but I'm just like.
Oh yeah, no, I don't retain this stuff. No.
Oh, okay. Because Mike, usually when Paul sends me this, I look at it in the morning of the show and just start thinking.
He calling Paul Drake now.
Oh my gosh. I don't like either one of y'all right now.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
Whap, 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 whap.
I know when I
Did I know when that I like
Man, y'all got the Goon Squad getting on me, y'all. We're finna get out of this real quick. Tasha, you got any shout outs for this week? Damn it.
I have two shout outs again. My baby daddy's birthday was yesterday. So
happy birthday, DDD.
So shouts out to him. But seriously, shout out to just women in general. You know, the Supreme Court came down with that ruling. Again, I've always said, who the hell is not pro-life? Who the hell really just wants people to die or this, that, and the other thing? But some of the laws that they have, rape and incest, which my aunt was a victim of both. My aunt, for those of you who do not know, she suffered from cerebral palsy. My aunt could not walk, she could not talk, and she was raped by a cousin of mine, and she became pregnant. So when you have rules and laws like that that say in cases like that a woman cannot abort her pregnancy. Now, what was my aunt supposed to do as basically almost an invalid if she would have carried a baby by her nephew?
Yeah, that's deep, and you know, our prayers go out to everyone that this may affect on a personal level, and yeah, that was big time news yesterday. So our hearts and our thoughts and our prayers are with everyone that may affect. That is a very serious subject, so I won't laugh. We will just go ahead and kick it over to Mike. Any shout outs for you today? Good job by you, Tasha.
Well, Tasha had two, right? I don't know if you had another one.
Oh, I was done.
Happy birthday, baby daddy.
It's my baby daddy.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I mean, I think just with the heat coming over, it's going to be a hot summer, so everyone buckle down and be smart with your money to be ready for that those electric bills and all that coming through. So,
Lord Jesus.
shout out.
Yes. Check your bill. Make sure you're on a fixed rate and not a variable rate. That could be the difference in hundreds of dollars on your monthly bill. Good job by you, Mike, especially down here. We're going to be record temperatures again today. I'm going to give a shout out to the king of pop, Mr. Michael Jackson. 13 years ago today, he left this earth. Tasha, what's your favorite Michael Jackson song of all time?
Oh, I'm sorry. My favorite Michael Jackson song of all. Well, let me take that back. Favorite video was Smooth Criminal. Favorite Michael Jackson song was Man in the Mirror.
Okay, Mike, what was your favorite Michael Jackson song of all time?
Probably PYT.
Oh, like Langston said, Shamon. Now I gotta watch Rush Hour out here, Shamon. He was like, Shamon Lee.
Shamon
Mike
Lee.
said, as I turn up the collar on my favorite winter coat. Man, come on, Mike.
Hey, but see, my favorite Michael Jackson song video is All in One. That's Remember the Time because of the dance routine in it. And that Eddie Murphy was like, oh boy, spun around into Mike's cat that he got in his house. They didn't know Mike's cat was in the video. When the cat came up like this, doom, 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 doom. Shouts out to Eddie Riley for the beat on that one. But yeah, shouts out to the king of pop. Shouts out to Ray J.
My baby made me do it. It was my baby fault.
But Mike, I implore you to go on Twitter or Instagram today and type in Ray J. If you want to just have a good 20 minutes of laughter. They did a versus the other day to set R&B back 100 years. I ain't never heard no caterwauling.
How does Instagram work? I don't know how that works.
Oh, don't do that. Right, we ran home to catch Mike's video releases.
Yeah.
That didn't happen anymore.
You remember the time came out. We were in the 11th grade. We was in Miss Sneed's class. Remember honors English, Miss Sneed.
Right, and everybody was trying to do the Egyptian dance, and it was the
oh.
Right, and he asked her, "What about us, girl?" He wasn't playing around.
With me on the beach. On the phone.
Can you imagine if he was like today? It'd be like in the cabinet, in the Uber. Hey, he said he ran across campus. All right, will that be?
One more thing. We talked about this earlier this morning. Y'all pray for my child. My child was in a restaurant.
I was gonna slide out of here without getting on her.
My child was in a restaurant this morning, getting breakfast for her father and whatnot. And she says, "Mom, Bill Russell's in here." Y'all, I knew it wasn't Bill Russell. Just for the simple fact and reason, y'all know why it wasn't Bill Russell in this restaurant.
But they were 137 years old when they fought.
Right. I don't know how old he was, but his ass wasn't in that restaurant this morning. And then she said, "Mom, it is. He's in here with his grandkids."
Mike, this is so wrong.
To which Paul said, I'm younger than his grandkids. But guys, I'm gonna show you the video that she sent me this
is
morning.
Messed up.
She said that was Bill Russell.
That was classy, Russell. What's that Russell?
That dude was 6 foot tall.
I got a man who's more than 8 foot tall. He's my king size papa.
To which Langston says, "Damn."
And I know she's in the car now, so I know she ain't seeing this part of the show.
Mike, that's so messed up. Okay, all right. With that being said, we thank Denise. We thank Bill Russell. He said that was John Henry. Okay, all right. With that being said, welcome back, Michigan Mike. We will see you guys in 6 days and about 23 hours. Until then, peace.
He's my king.